Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. They're finally here. The Pan the Organizer polishing pads. So 3 different types of pads. Don't worry guys, I'll leave the links to all the tools, products, and equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So what pads are they? We're gonna talk about the technology. So what we have is a wool cutting pad. Different sizes, of course. We have a blue polishing foam pad. I'm going to show you them in a close-up closely, but this is how you can tell what the packaging is going to look like. And we have a white Waffle jeweling foam pad. So what are they? The technology is pretty awesome. For these ones, we partnered with Buff and Shine. So they're made in the USA. They were specifically made for the Clean by Pan the Organizer lineup. Now these pads you can use with whatever compounds and polishes that you guys want, whatever machines you want. But of course, we optimize them for use with the now famous Clean by Pan the Organizer spray polish. Now this polish is very easy to use because it's in spray form. You're using very little compared to traditional liquid polishes and compounds. You can use this as a compound if you pair it with a cutting pad, or you can use this as a polish if you pair it with a polishing pad. So more about this in just a second because we're going to do demos as well. I'm going to show you the individual pads. So I spoke with Rich, the owner of Buff and Shine. He is crazy about pads and pad technology, way more than I am, of course. That's his specialty. So just as much as I like detailing chemicals, he really knows his stuff when it comes down to foams and types of materials used to make the best polishing pads in the world, right? So that's why we teamed up with Buff and Shine, and all these are proprietary to Clean by Pan the Organizer. So they're specific. Of course, you can use them again. They're universal with any type of compound or polish, but they work super well. I wanted a simple system, right? Let me show you, before I show you these pads, just how crazy things can get so you guys can have an idea, right? Traditionally in compounds and polishes, if I look here, give me the camera because my brother is here, by the way, to help me out. So Andy,
hey guys,
you can say hi to the viewers. So this is just a small selection of compounds and polishes that I normally use, right, before I had my own system. So it can get quite complicated. And if we go to the pads, this sometimes is even worse. So look at this. Look at the infinite selection of different pads from different brands, different types. You got microfiber, you got foam, you got wool. There's all sorts of different pads, of course, and technologies, and it goes on and on and on. So here you go, Andy. So what I wanted to do with this setup is make it very simple. So simplicity means you only have one chemical that you're going to need. So in this case, the Clean by Pan the Organizer spray polish, and of course the pads right here. So let's talk about them individually. First of all, I'm going to leave all the information if you want to geek out on the tech. So you can look at the description under the video, or also on the cleanbypan.com website or on the House of Rags website. You're going to have all the details about each pad. So let's first start with the wool cutting pad. So this has blue and white fibers. They are super soft. This, of course, is made for your more aggressive type cutting. It is very, very sturdy with this foam backing here. It gives it its structural rigidity, and this is able to withstand all the torque and the heat when you're actually using the machine polishers. Also, by the way, these pads, all of them, they're compatible regardless what type of machine polishing technology you have, and we're going to show you a few of them in just a second. So regardless if you're using a dual action polisher, a direct drive, right, or forced rotation type polisher, or a rotary, you can use them with all these pads. By the way, all my pads, they have the Clean by Pan the Organizer backing plate, so hook and loop, the traditional style to put on your backing plates. So yeah, this is the cutting. It even finishes down nicely. So when you're done with this, you can have a look, and if you don't feel that you need to go on to the polishing step, well, observe your steps, right? So all these pads and this polish should get you 95% of the work done in extreme cases only. So very, very heavy oxidation or very deep scratches beyond 1,000 grit, all that kind of stuff. That's when you might want to move to a heavier cut type compound, or in extreme polishing needs, right, a very, very fine type polish. That's your case, but the spray polish and these 3 pads will get you usually the majority of your jobs done and remove any headaches that people have, right? So it has kind of this beveled edge as well. This is the wool cutting pad. And why wool on this one? Well, according to Rich, in this situation, it helps keep the pad cooler for longer compared to traditional microfiber style cutting pads. So some great technology, and again, the finish is quite amazing on this. Very, very soft, yet very aggressive. So this is the wool cutting pad, by the way. So also in the lineup is a Waffle jeweling pad. So this is a foam, it's white. It is very, very soft and supple, right? So this is really for the jeweling stage. So after you're polishing, if you want to remove any holograms or hazing that might be there, or any buffer trails, if you used a rotary polisher, for example, this is the perfect partner for that. So it's dimpled or waffle. Again, you have the clean by pan backing plate in the back. But as you can tell, this is very, very soft. So it is made to comply to the contours when you're going around, and it is very, very compliant, right? So that's what you want. And this is to finesse the finish. So again, lots of cooling on this, because heat is the enemy when you're doing paint correction. The more heat you dissipate, the better the technology. This type of foam, by the way, is open cell foam technology. All the pads, again, are made in the USA by Buff and Shine. And they're all specifically made, these custom foams, because you guys know, if you followed my channel, there's a few pads I really, really liked in the Buff and Shine lineup. So the Eurofiber pads, the Blueberry pad, the Maroon pad, there's a bunch of pads in their lineup that I truly liked. So I worked closely with Buff and Shine to try and figure out what will be the best type of custom foam. So Rich developed this specifically for my lineup to be able to pair it up with the spray polish, but you can use this again with any compound or any polish that you want. So the third pad in the lineup, again with the clean by pan backing plate, is the blue foam polishing pad. So this one here has kind of these contoured edges. So this pad, I like to call it, and we even wrote it on the pad, it's a polishing pad, but it's also a one-step. So don't confuse a one-step with a all-in-one type polish, right? An all-in-one type polish is a polish that also has protection inside it. A one-step, what it says, basically, that's what it is. It is a one-step paint correction. So it's not always that you need to start with a compound and finish with a polish. So in extreme cases, so heavy oxidation, deep scratches and swirls, yes, you're going to start with a compound, finish with a polishing step. But in some times, like this vehicle here, it's not that bad, the paint work, and maybe only one step is needed, so just one polishing step. So you can use this and paired again with this. If you haven't seen, by the way, Detailing Dogma's channel, he had his awards for 2024. He called the Clean by Pan, the organizer, his favorite one-step polish, because it just works that well. So go and check that out. Frank, I salute you, by the way, great review. And so this pad is fantastic for that. So it is stiff enough to do some light correction. So it's not going to cut as much, of course, as the wool, but it's still good enough to do some light correction, and still soft enough to finish down to a mirror-like shine. So absolutely fantastic. So what I did here, the vehicle was washed, was fully decontaminated. So we used an iron remover, the clay bar, the whole 9 yards. We taped off 2 sections, and we're going to do a demo. So on one of the squares, we're going to do a one-step with the blue foam polishing pad. And on the second square, we're going to do a cutting step, and then we're going to finish with a jeweling step. Now, to clean the pads, what I like to do, very, very simple. You can see here I have the Lake Country 4000 pad washer. So in here, I put a solution, very simple, of a rinseless wash, 256:1, half an ounce for every gallon of water. So I have 2 gallons of water in there, just 1 ounce of rinseless wash. And I use the Clean by Pan, the organizer rinseless wash. Why? Because this is a polymer-based and surfactant-based, so it's a hybrid. So all the surfactants in there really deep clean your pads. And when you're done cleaning the pads, you hover them over, you release all the water, so it is just barely damp. Absolutely has no effect on the polish itself, but it really deep cleans your pads. So without further ado, let's start and do the demonstration. And we're going to use 3 different types of machines. So with the blue, we're going to use a dual action. With the cutting, we're going to use a forced rotation, and with the jeweling pad, we're going to use a rotary, but you guys can use whatever machine works for you. Don't let anybody tell you which machines you should or shouldn't be using, guys. It doesn't really matter. Use a machine that works for you. So thanks to the hole for the aeration here, it's very easy to center it on the pad. So to prime the pad with the Clean by Pan, the organizer spray polish, 2 sprays. So you activate it by spinning, and then 1, 2, and there you go. So you get an even distribution. So that's pretty amazing. And then you can start cutting on the surface. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to do the polish here, and then we're going to wipe off. We're going to do the second section as well. We're going to wipe off. We're going to remove the tape, and we're going to have a look at the end results. All right, so as you saw on this, only 2 passes, because that's how my polish likes to work, by the way. So it is very, very quick to cut on the first pass, and then on the second pass it finishes. Once we're done, we're gonna do a light panel prep spray so we can have a visual, but already I can tell this looks pretty good. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We're gonna take the forced rotation. We are going to apply the wool cutting pad on the forced rotation. So what I like to do, by the way, when I first start spreading the product, low speed, and then when I'm actually doing the compound or polishing, that's when I increase the speed to speed 5 or 6. You can apply a little pressure, and actually new techniques that I learned recently, sometimes you can even go to the limits and put even more pressure. It doesn't really add any heat while you're doing this, especially when you have pads that keep everything cool, and good quality machine polishers, by the way. So that's pretty awesome. Let me show you, by the way, if you want to clean your pads, how would it work, right? If I take the one that we just used here, so you can see this with the spent polish, what you would do with the Lake Country pad washer, you're going to pump the liquid. So if we can tell here, you see that? There's liquid that comes out. This is what happens. And then you just go to town polishing. And then when you're done, you lift it up, you're gonna put it at max speed, and you're gonna throw all that water away. And now you look at your pad and look at that, it's all clean again. That's the beauty of a pad washer, because working clean is very important. So if you have a pad washer, all you need is 1 or 2 pads for every type. If you don't have a pad washer, you can have 4, 5, 6 pads of each one to do the entire vehicle. So it depends on what you guys prefer, right? So the same applies for the wool. So let's say this is a dirty pad. I would come here, I would make a few pumps. And then spin it out, and then we have a clean pad to work with. All right, so to prime the pad, 2 sprays. There we go. Now we're going to start spreading the product on low speed. Right, we're gonna take our pad once again, pad washer. And now we have a clean pad. Right, we're going to remove the polish, and so that was with a forced rotation for the wool cutting stage. And even just with the cutting, I can tell that the finish is quite nice, but we're still going to jewel it up. To jewel, we're going to use the jeweling pad that we're going to put on the rotary. We're going to use speed number 1 for this. So again, same principle. To prime the pad, you spin it, 1, 2. And then for every subsequent pass, 1 or 2 sprays to replenish is all you need. So let's go ahead. Very, very smooth. With that jeweling pad, it was like butter. So let's wipe this. All right, we're going to take a panel prep spray and another towel to wipe the surface. So this one doesn't leave much oils behind. It has no fillers. My spray polish, by the way, it's Body Shop safe because there's no silicones. There's no dusting with this if you use it correctly. So this is just an entrance step to make sure that we remove any polish residue that might be on there. We're going to remove the tape and we're going to reveal the finish. So as you guys saw, regardless what machine you get, it is very, very simple as a system. It removes all the guesswork too, by the way. So you can use just the blue foam polishing pad if you want just a one step. So if a vehicle is in not too bad of a condition, on a new car, for example, it's perfect to abrade and remove an old coating or the old protection before you apply something else on there. So let's have a look. Let's take the inspection light. Where did I put? All right, so come here and we'll do some comparisons. So now the one-step polish square, this looks pretty amazing. Don't forget this is beat up. It's almost 5 years now. This car has a lot of stone chips, but the finish, look at the clarity of the light. There are almost no scratches. So this easily did a 95% paint correction. And to give you guys a perspective, look at this here where we can see, let me just grab the towel with the isopropyl alcohol, do a quick wipe. So you guys can hopefully see, you see the spotting, hopefully it comes up on the camera. There's a few water spots that over time etched in. Yeah, we can see that. You see as I'm moving the light, look at those spots here. Whoop, again, you saw that. Yep, there you go. So all those spots, there's water spotting that had started to etch onto the clear coat. Yeah, it's everywhere. Now, if we look at the square that we just did, Andy, show that up. So let's pull the light to that. We don't see any of those water spots, regardless how you move it. And look how crisp the light looks like on camera. Look at that. You can see all the metallic pop. So all that's left are the stone chips, but the finish is nice. Let's have a look now at the dual step. So both sides are silky smooth. Compared to this, we can tell now that we removed a light layer, not too much clear coat, but again, no water spots left here. And look at how crispy, again, that light reflection is. You see that? Look how good that looks. So this is probably 98% right now. Zero scratches that I can see, no marring, no buffer trails. Andy, can you see that? Does it look good?
It looks good.
Yep, so this is near perfection. Of course, you're never chasing 100% paint correction. Don't forget, these are daily drivers. You don't want to remove too much clear coat, right? So just a light polish step doesn't remove little to none. If you do a two-step with a compound or a polish once or twice a year, if you really want to, that's fine. Of course, you wouldn't machine polish a ceramic coating because you're abrading and removing that protection. So just chemical maintenance is what is recommended on coated cars. And if you do it right and you have safe washing and drying methods, you shouldn't have to polish your paint for many, many years. So as you guys saw, I hope you enjoyed this. One more time, let's give you a look at the three types of pads in their packaging. So on the left side, we used the blue polishing pad, which is also known as the one-step. Fantastic pad for polishing. Different sizes available too, by the way, so you can check the website depending on what you need. And on the right-hand square, we did a two-step paint correction. So we started with a wool cutting pad. So fantastic, two types of wool fibers in there, blue and white, just works fantastically well, holds its structural rigidity. By the way, the blue foam and the white foam waffle jeweling pad, those are two open cell type structures. So very breathable, they contour easy. And this again is the white waffle foam jeweling pad. So very, very soft, complies and contours very well to all the edges, and it's buttery smooth, especially when you pair it with a rotary. Speed number one is all you need, and you're jeweling the surface, right? You're finessing that. So for example, if you did the one-step polish with this and you just want to add even more gloss and pop and give that ultimate protection, you could follow up the polishing stage as well with the jewel waffle jeweling pad if you want to, or again, this perfect combination, or in some rare cases, if you want to go to the extreme and do a three-step paint correction, you can start with the wool cutting, do the second step with the foam polishing, and do the third step with the Waffle jeweling pad, and that is for the ultimate. You guys decide what you want. You can do a few test spots, by the way. That's what I always recommend that you do. So depending on what type of car you have, paints are always different, even within the same make and model in the same year. Sometimes some car manufacturers change paint suppliers. So always do test spots to figure out what is the best combination of your compound or polish and which type of pad. But in the case of the Clean by Pan, the organizer system, you guys know I like simplicity. I know you guys appreciate that as well. So we have a trio of pads that removes all the guesswork. Finished are the times, or gone are the times now, where you need 15, 20 different pads in your collection to try and figure out. And gone are the times as well where you need, like I had in my cupboard, 10, 15, 20 different compounds, 10, 15 different polishes. So one does it all. Use it as a compound if you pair it with a cutting pad. Use it as a polish if you pair it with a polishing pad. So it will get you 90 to 95% of the jobs done. For those rare occasions, you might need a heavier cut, for example, or a finer finishing polish. But the majority of the time, this is all you'll need. Try it, you'll love it. It even smells nice. Has this like strawberry tropical type vibes when you're using it. So yeah, it's never overpowering, just subtle enough, but it increases the user experience, I find. So guys, check all of this stuff out. The pads are available right now on the House of Rags or on cleanbypan.com. I'll leave everything linked in the description under the video. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.